Okay, I shared it.
Okay, cool. So welcome everybody. This is the kickoff to the Dreamers Marathon. So I've been very fortunate in this business to interact and just meet with some awesome individuals. So I just wanted to take time within the next 2 weeks to kind of spotlight a select few of them. And so tonight I have Ashley Flores. She is a double diamond leader with It Works. We both kind of have a little bit of the same timeline of our promotions and everything. So I thought that was kind of cool. We both got a $22,000 bonus. It was split up into two. So a $2,000 emerald bonus and then a $20,000 diamond bonus this time last year. And then this past week, we just earned another $30,000 in bonuses. So it's really exciting. I'm so happy for her. She's a single mother. So like I always have it's like this little special string in my heart for single mothers because I am one too, and I just know the struggle, and just to see people succeed despite their circumstance in life is just amazing to me. So I just wanted to kind of spotlight her tonight. She's going to share her story and kind of her journey with It Works. So let's go ahead and get started. So Ashley, can you tell us like how you found out about It Works?
Yeah. So I actually was a customer first. So I got connected with It Works. A girl I went to college with was actually a distributor back in the day. And she was a personal trainer, one of those, fitnessy people. So I don't know about you guys, but people who are very into fitness or trainers and are really athletic or whatever, basically anything they say health related, you just kind of believe them, Mm-hmm. So, because they research, they don't just connect
exactly.
So she had been posting a few things about It Works, but I wasn't really paying attention. I was kind of paying attention, like, oh, that's cool, she's doing something, and I was happy for her, but I wasn't really looking at the products. Well, I entered my second trimester of being pregnant with my daughter, and I was incredibly sick. You have a child, anyone who's listening who's been pregnant, like, I'm not one of those people who had a super easygoing pregnancy and everything was just great. No, I was like miserable my second trimester. It was like horrible things going on. And I just didn't have any energy, just nothing. And one day she put up a packet of greens on the go. And all I saw was the word energize was on the packet. I didn't really care what else it did. I learned all that later. But all I knew was I had absolutely no energy. And she was saying that it would help me get more energy. So she came into my job and brought me a sample packet. I mixed it with some lemonade. Well, I think we got feedback. I hear
it. You are you still echoing on your end?
Let me see. Yes.
Let me make sure I'm not like logged. It's not showing on Facebook.
Okay, it's cool.
Okay, see if that's better. Is it still echoing for you?
Echoing? Nope.
Okay.
So she came and brought me a sample. I drank it, and I swear it was like 20 minutes later. I felt so much better. I texted her and was like, I don't know what this stuff was, but I feel better. Let me know whatever it is I need to do to keep getting it. And I became her loyal customer. And I just kept drinking them. I actually ended up with so many containers at my house that I even stopped ordering for a while and was just using them. By the time I had my second child, I still had some. So that was basically the only product I had ever tried. Still was not interested in becoming a distributor at all. At that point in time, I was working at a university, actually the one I graduated from. Had what you would call, a good job, had my master's degree, and, was just living life as you are supposed to live in life, married, and I had 2 kids. Well, right before I had my second child, unfortunately, me and my husband separated about 4 weeks before I gave birth to my son. So it was a very tense time. It was a lot going on. And when my son was actually 2 weeks old, is when I launched my It Works business. I contacted 2 of my friends who actually I'd only known through social media. One of them I still have not met. My actual sponsor, I've never met in person. We were just talking about that on the phone yesterday because she's in California and we've never physically met. And like, I love her like family. Like, her kids are like my nieces. So it's so crazy that we've never actually met. We'll actually get to meet in May for the first time. But I had another friend who was doing very well in the company as well. She was a presidential diamond, averaging about $15,000 a month. And basically, I called them and texted them. And my only question was, first, I told them what was going on in my life. And I'm like, I just need another $500 for daycare. Me and my ex-husband hadn't talked about what we were going to do. You know, we were barely speaking to each other at that time. You know, fortunately, we have a better interaction now. But I just wanted to be prepared. I remember telling her on the phone, I said, I need to be prepared if something happens and he does not help. What if he does not help? And I knew it was $500 for just one of my children to be in daycare. And I said, I'm about to have two. So eventually, this is like $1,000 a month for daycare. And I was on unpaid maternity leave at that time. So I had absolutely no money coming in. I had my children so close together that I had used up my time with the first one. So I hadn't been back at work long enough to get enough time. So I was on unpaid maternity leave. It was just a big mess. Well, my only question to them, I said, can you teach me to do what you do? Is it simple enough that you could just show me how to do this? Because I have a full-time job. I have a newborn. I just need to know, is this something that I can do in addition to my job and do it well? Because failing isn't an option. I have to be successful at this. And I remember my friend, she's like, yeah. She said it so nonchalantly, like, of course, you can do this. And so I launched my business actually on, I want to say it was March 25th of 2015. So March is like my month.
Yes, that's like you just had your 2-year anniversary.
I just had my 2-year anniversaries. And so I launched, I think it was like March 25th. And then within my first 30 days, I made about $650 in Rap Cash. What? Because, and I want to rewind first. I didn't have the money to start because, like I said, I was on unpaid maternity leave. I had nothing. And I actually, my grandmother let me use her credit card to do it. And I just told her, I said, look, I'm going to get this product. There's 4 wraps in this box. And I know you're going to go over all this later with them. And I'm like, there's 4 wraps in this box. If I sell each one of them for $25, I already have 3 friends who said that they'll get 3. So that's 75 right there. And then she said she wanted one. So that was all 4 of them. And I'm like, as soon as I get this money, I'll give it right back to you. And I boosted my kit. Like I got the extra stuff. I was like, and everything that came in the kit, I sold it.
Wow.
So
I shows you that where there's a will, there's a way. Like you make a way.
And I had only drank greens. Think about it. I'd never used a wrap. I had never
faith.
Exactly. I was just like, this is what I tell people. The 2 women who I partnered with, I trusted them. And you know, we say all the time, you partner with people, not with businesses. I trusted their integrity. I trusted relationships with the Lord. I trusted who they were as women, that they wouldn't lead me astray. So I'm like, if they say this works, it works. So I was just confident talking to people about the products. And I remember I actually was in the business for probably 2 months before I actually had time to wrap myself. I had never used one. And I was just using I would take pictures of my clients. But so the first 30 days I made about $650 in Rap Cash, and then just selling stuff like defining gel, and I think some fat fighters came with it, some all kind of stuff came in the kit. And then I got about 6 or 7 business partners within the first month and a half. So then I had fast start bonuses from them, and then I got the $1,000 Ruby bonus back then.
So you were a rock star, pretty much. Like
it was moving so fast when I started that my sponsor had to up and call me one day, and she was like, wait, like, because we had even had like a full intense training. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it was just like people were just coming from out of everywhere. But it was just so fun, and that's what I loved about it. It was like, you know, meeting so many people coming to me telling me that they had health problems, and my family's has a lot of health issues. Me and my sisters, we lost our mother in 2010 to some health complications. So I like being able to help people with their health. You know, I think that's really important. I like taking care of myself. I know that my family genetics is not set up for me to be the most healthiest person in the world. So I say I will at least fight it as much as I can, so that if something does go wrong, I know it wasn't my fault, you know? Yeah. But so promoted to Ruby within my first 60 days, got that $1,000 Ruby bonus back then. We had that going on. And my team just continued to grow. I stayed consistent. I had fun. Fast forward a year later, that March, at my 1 year mark, that's when you mentioned earlier, I went diamond.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I went emerald. And it was actually, I think, like 4 days apart. I went emerald and got the $2,000 emerald bonus. And then 4 days later, I went diamond and got a $20,000 bonus. And that just completely changed my life. I'm like newly single, like newly divorced, 2 children under the age of 2. And all of a sudden you get a $20,000 bonus and the average of about $2,000 a month income that even came with that promotion. So all of that on top of the fact that I was still working 40 plus hours a week. At that point in time, I was the membership director at a YMCA. So, you know, still working a full-time job and was able to, you know, do all of that without feeling overwhelmed because it was actually just a lot of fun. And I guess I'm trying to fast forward again. But the year, you know, my team continued to grow. And I always say that from the time I started my business, I ran my business like a business. I always took it seriously. I kept it fun. I always keep it lighthearted. My team is hilarious. I have some of the most hilarious business partners on the planet. And we just crack up. It's crazy. But, you know, it's a business because I wanted it to be successful. And I think that had a lot to do with now, you know, a year again from the last promotion, you know, we were just able to go double diamond and get $30,000 in bonuses. Like, where does that happen? When you get $50,000+ in bonuses, that's an annual income.
Yes.
And that's on top of the fact that we still get, you know, our regular checks. I'm going to pass out when we get our checks for April. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to call you screaming and crying.
It actually hasn't it sunk in yet. Like I understand that I promote it, but I don't think it will like sink in until I see like my commissions check.
I don't get it either.
Like, oh, okay, I'm just about to push for triple, but it just hasn't like I haven't gotten there yet. So
people stopped me at church Sunday when I was coming in. They're like, "Oh goodness, you know, congratulations! We saw on Facebook. How does it feel?" I'm like, I don't even know how it feels. I'm confused.
I'm just sitting here looking at my triple diamond chart, like, okay, so what do I need to go to my next promotion?
Exactly. So. It's like on to the next. And I think that has nothing to do with not being content. I think it has to do with my team actually told me I had a goal for myself of going to triple diamond. And they actually told me, no, we're going to do this faster than that. And I was like, okay, because I want as many people as possible to be in the situation that we're in. You know what I mean? I think that's why we keep going for the next promotion, because we know that in order for us to get to the next promotion, somebody else had to get to where we are. And that's what I love about it.
That gave me chills for you to say that, because that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, I printed out so many diamond charts because my goal this year is to get so many people to diamond as possible. Yes, I just want people to feel like that was like the first time that I just felt like my life had changed. Like, to get that bonus and then to also see like $2,000 a month in commissions alone, it's incredibly life changing. So yeah, I agree. So go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut off.
Oh, no, you're good. But you know, talking about, you know, the bonuses and the money and everything, that was cool. But one thing I did, I know we talked about wanting to share, is how much we've been able to travel with this company. I just know in my first year, my Ambassador Diamond actually hosted a Ruby and Above retreat in the Poconos Mountains, which I probably would have never went to the Poconos, or in my mind, I didn't think wasn't on my wish list or my bucket list or anything. I'm like, I hadn't thought about it, but we had such a great time, and I built some friendships with some of my sideline sisters that we still just, you know, flash back to having a party in our onesies up in mountains, you know, looking, you know, making sure we're not getting attacked by deer. But, you know, it was so much fun to be up there. And then I was one of the top point earners to earn a spot on the It Works cruise the first year. Last year, they took us on a cruise. And then I was able to earn a spot on the cruise again in this past November. So we went to the Bahamas. And that was just, you know, such a good, you get to people who we have these relationships with, and we talk on Facebook and Instagram all the time. Like, you and I had spoken so many times, and then finally got to see each other at conference. And we're like, hey. So, and I love it because it's not even awkward. You run into people that you see all the time. well, you talk to on Facebook all the time, and then we just kind of pick up when we see each other in person, like we've known each other all our lives. Because it's never like you met a stranger, because you guys have spoken so much. But just being able to travel so much, and also I speak for I travel as a speaker for a pro-life organization. And I love that not only has this business been able to give me the freedom that this past August, I now completely work from home. So I love that. I was able to stop having to send my children to daycare all day. They were literally at daycare about 10 hours a day when I was working. And I would hear people tell me, and they'll say, everybody has to do that. You'll get used to it. And I remember telling people, I don't want to get used to it.
Yeah.
And one of my old bosses, she actually told me, she said, I have no doubt that you have what it takes to do this job, or to do her job, actually. She said, but I'm not quite sure if I want you to make the sacrifices that it takes to do my job.
Yeah.
And I love that she said that to me. She's like, I don't even think I want you to do that, because I know how much of your life and how much of your family you have to sacrifice in order to get to where she was.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was just like a big thing for me. So I was able to come home and just work from home completely. And now I love it that if someone books me to speak at an event for this pro-life organization that I'm a part of, I don't have to stop and make sure I'm off work first. I don't have to check with anyone about that. No, or if, our team does say, hey, let's do a trip somewhere, I can just go. I didn't have to ask permission. When we went to Tampa for a conference, we just went. We booked. Yeah. We rented cars and booked hotels, and we just went. And we didn't have to ask for permission. What is this paid time off? All of my time is paid time off. That's how I feel. And, it's just been great. And the journey, I know it's just getting started. And think about it. This has only been 2 years. This is
crazy.
Just crazy. 2 years. So, yeah.
Awesome. I love your story. And like one of the things that just kind of hit home for me that you just said is how we drop our kids off at daycare, and they're literally there all day. And that's one of the things that I've struggled with. Like when I started, I didn't have in my mind that, okay, I'm about to do this and I'm going to quit my job. Like I just wanted to take my student loans out of deferment. So that's like all I wanted. I didn't see like the vision, but like once I got in, it's like your why changes and why you keep pushing changes. So now I'm at the point to where, okay, like I'm tired of dropping my daughter off and then just picking her up. And it's like a routine, an everyday routine. And I talk to my mom about it all the time. Like, okay, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, how did you guys do this? Like, you never see your kids. You're just dropping them off, picking them up, giving them, feeding them, bathing them, and putting them to bed. Like, that's just not living to me. And the freedom of like traveling and all that. Can you go into just a little bit of how you've been able to, when you working full time? Because I know there's probably a ton of people on the call. They have full-time jobs. Maybe they're a mom. How did you incorporate it works into your everyday life when you were working full time and like managing your household as well?
Yeah, I am really blessed to have an amazing upline who they spend a lot of time making sure that we understand how to not feel overwhelmed, because when you get to the point where, like where I am, you have like 200 plus people under you, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. So they really push setting office hours for yourself. And once I learned how to set office hours for my It Works business, it really took a lot of the weight off of it. So we, sorry, my phone, look at that, that's my team. Hey y'all, I'm on a call. But, but the way I would do, like I would get up really early before the kids woke up, and it was a lot. So I had to make sure that I woke up before they woke up. Or while they were eating breakfast and things in the morning, I would start sending out messages to potential customers or potential business partners who had contacted me or, showed me in some kind of way that they were interested. I would send them those messages before I went to work. Okay. That would mean that by the time I got to work at 8 o'clock, from 8 until 11 or 11:30 when I went to lunch, they had time to see those messages. And then by the time I went to lunch, I had stuff to reply to. So then I would spend my whole lunch break. I used to bring my lunch, or I worked at a university. We had a Chick-fil-A and all kind of little stuff out in the food court. I would go get something to eat real quick and sit outside. One of my business partners, well, a couple of them eventually work at the university with me, and we all be outside with our little lunches, just responding to people. And so I would usually take about the first 15 minutes of my lunch to actually eat.
Yeah.
And then I would spend the rest of the time, I had an hour lunch break, praise God. But I would spend the rest of the time following other people. And I was following, because I knew once I got back to my computer, I couldn't use my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I got to put my phone up, and I would send messages and talk to people. Phone calls. We're doing this webinar right here. You know, Facebook didn't have this when we first started. So I would just, but we did have the audio calls. So I would just do conference calls with people. And that would take about 15 minutes, and then I'd work. And when I got off at 5, I would wait a few minutes downstairs in my car and reply to some more messages, and then pick up the kids. And it was just really a routine. It was like I can message people before the kids. I can speak to potential customers and business partners before the kids wake up, on my lunch break, and as soon as I get off work. That's all I got. And I also, the way I was kind of able to get international customers, being the fact my son was so little, he was still nursing. So I would be up at like 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. So that's when I kind of started connecting with people in London and, you know, over in the UK and all kind of stuff like that, because they were headed to work. So they were awake and on Facebook and on Instagram. And I started following different hashtags that a lot of my women I gotten connected with through different ministries were using, and they lived in Australia and things like that. I would, you know, get connected with the small groups with them. And I'm like, okay, well, you guys are awake. Since I'm up at night nursing, that's why usually those people will tell me, well, I just had a baby and this isn't really the time, but, you know, as soon as I get a little more time, I'm like, I had so much time with a newborn, because, like, especially if you were nursing, you're sitting on the couch, you have nothing else to do. You can't go anywhere when you're, you know, breastfeeding a child. You can't do anything else. So I would usually sit there scrolling through Facebook anyway. I'm like, you might as well make some money while you're sitting there scrolling through Facebook anyway. But yeah, it was about creating a little schedule and just sticking to it, so that you weren't feeling overwhelmed and you weren't feeling like you were on your phone all day.
Agree. I definitely agree. So can you like give us, when you first started, did you have, you said, you know, you were kind of like a mass enroller, I would say. Like most people don't come in their first month and they enroll that many business partners or customers. Some people struggle with just getting their first 4. So how did you go about finding new customers, business partners? Did you have family and friends that supported you like right out the gate, or did you like go on social media immediately and find just a whole new network of people? Like, how did that look for you?
I did everything. I will say this, because I was the kind of person that I would listen to tips from the top. I'm like, okay, I have an ambassador Diamond who is very accessible, who in mentoring us, and she's already making like $40,000 a month. So she knows what she's talking about. So she says, try something, I'm going to try it. And I'm still that way, that people who I'm really close to now, they've had more success than I've had in this business. If they make a recommendation, I at least just give it a try. I'm not asking questions. I'm not like bumping heads. Apparently they know what they're talking about. So when I first got started, I am fortunate that I did have a lot of family support. And I know a lot of people do not sometimes when they start businesses. And I will say I had a lot, but I say that, when I say that, I don't mean like 50 people, I mean like 10.
Yeah.
And let's keep in mind, I know way more than 10 people. So the fact that I probably had 6 or 7 family and friends and things like that become my customer immediately, keep in mind that I probably asked 80 people.
Numbers.
So yeah, I probably talked to about 80 or just like no, or didn't respond to my messages. Or isn't it weird when a family member sends you a text message about something else and you scroll up and realize
you're like, oh, you never responded to that message I sent you.
they never responded.
Messages like on Facebook. I was just actually doing that today. Like it was like 2 family members that were sending chain messages to me, and I'm like scrolling up. I was like, I thought I asked you about placing an order last week when I needed that order in the system.
So, you know, it's not like it's all just been roses, because there's plenty of people who to this day have not. I have friends that I've had, you know, the majority of my life who still have not become customers and probably never will. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean, that was something my mentor told me a long time ago. She told us, she said, not everybody wants what you have. And that's okay. Even if you know it would help them, they just don't want it. It's kind of like, I may love, you know, my friend's little girls so much, but I didn't buy Girl Scout cookies from anybody this year.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I don't like them, or I didn't want their child to go to summer camp or or win the bicycle. I just didn't want any Girl Scout cookies. I was trying to keep them out of my house because I knew Lent was coming up.
Like they're, what's the saying? Like, they're not saying no to you, they're saying no to themselves. So when someone tells you no, like, that's, just don't take it to heart. Just let it blow off your shoulder.
Keep going. They still, you know, it doesn't necessarily, if somebody says something in a rude way, that's different. But sometimes people just don't want it, and that's okay. So I did have a lot of success early on, but I have had some lows in my business where maybe for a month or two, I just did not have that same kind of like boom, 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 boom success. And I was actually still never really got discouraged. I'm like, hey, that's just, you know, the season that I'm in right now. Keep it pushing. You have to have a keep it pushing mentality. That no matter what, just keep it pushing. I remember at conference when they were going through the audience, taking questions from people who felt like they were just struggling or felt insecure about the business, or, you know, they weren't, just having obstacles or whatever. And they gave the microphone to a lady, Pam Souter. She was talking to a lady who was in the audience, and she was saying, I'm really just holding me back in the business. And she said, what do you think is really holding you back right now? She said, it's time. I really just don't have enough time right now. And Pam looked at her and said, she said, so you don't have time to make $1 million. That's what you're saying? And everybody kind of laughed, and the girl just kind of looked like, yeah, you're right, I do have time. It's like you couldn't tell me a couple of weeks ago that I was too busy to get a $30,000 bonus. And like right now, both of us are eligible for $50,000 bonuses. You can't tell us we're too busy. Like I went to spa Saturday and you went today, and that's probably the first time either of us had a big break in forever. And we're back to the grind. It's like we took a short break.
I only did it for self-care, like just to kind of re-energize and make this next push.
And keep going. And it's one of those businesses where you will run into people. Some people will be excited and they'll love everything that you're offering, and they'll just come right on board. And some people, they just have to think about it a little bit longer. And that's okay. Like, don't let that discourage you. Anybody who's listening, that's just the nature of any business. How many times do we go to the mall and just window shop? It's the same thing. I feel like sometimes when people keep contacting me and don't place an order, I almost feel like they're window shopping. Like they just, it's like they like hanging out in my store because I'm nice, but they're just not ready to buy yet.
And they haven't decided what it is that they want to order or what like journey they want to take. Because I have several friends, like I always support network marketers, like, you know, Wild Tree and different Pampered Chef, I think it is. And so I have a couple of friends who've sent me their website, and honestly, like I want to order it, but I just haven't taken the time to like browse through and figure out which product I actually want. So it's not like I'm like telling them no or blowing them off. It's just like I just haven't had time to sit down and look at it. So you have to just keep following up with those people.
Yeah. So I think it's worth it. It's worth it. The business itself, I always have the mindset of people have that mentality of like, well, what if this really doesn't work? Not the products. We know the products work. The products work. That's not even up for question anymore, whether or not the products work. Like they do. But like what if the business doesn't work for me? And I love that quote. And they're like, what if it doesn't work for me? But what if it does?
And you'll never know unless you try. Like you could sit all day. Like people have been in my inbox like, is that money real? Like I got a text message on Saturday like, are you April Fooling on Facebook? Because I was like posting promotions. And I'm like, where did this come from? You really think I'm going to take time to make all these flyers?
I thought about that. It was funny that the next day was April Fool's Day.
I didn't even register in my head. I was like, why would I even do that? But people just think that the money is just, it's not real. But the only way to know that it's real is to try it. Like
to get in there
and try
it. And anybody who's watching this is what I always say. And I tell any of my business partners who are listening, they will say I gave them all this exact same speech. And I say, you give me 6 months of you really going hard, being coachable, attending trainings, Listening to the tips, applying everything that we're telling you. The company has everything laid out for us, using your own personality to implement the steps they've already given us. And I know you're going to go over the steps, but, using your own personality to implement those steps. Give me 6 months of just going hard. And if in those 6 months you don't feel like you've just done anything successful and you've really, really done everything, okay, then we can talk. Like, walk away, just run away. But I'm like, you can't tell me that if you go hard, really applying yourself, not like halfway doing it, but really applying yourself for 6 months and you just see nothing, because everybody could be dominant in 6 months.
Yes, definitely.
That's the way the company's set up. Everybody could be pulling in $2,000 in additional income in 6 months. If you are really going hard and really committing yourself, it's possible. So that's just usually my little spiel. Like, don't do 2 weeks, 3 days, people just ready to quit. No, like, set some time.
Like, they're like, oh, I got my check and it's $30. You want to know how much my check was? I think it was like $19 and some change. Like, yours is probably more, of course, because you were a rock star. It took me a couple months to get mine off the ground.
It wasn't because I joined at the end of the month.
Oh, okay.
My first check was $9 because I joined at the end of the month, but I had rep cash, and then my second check was like $200 maybe or whatever. But then I got the bonus and the promotion. Like that. But what if I had gotten that first $9 check? And it
took me like 7 months to get, it took me 3 or 4 months to get my first business partner. And it wasn't until like 7 months in, I went Ruby. And that's when I like actually started seeing like $100-something. Well, I had like what my Ruby check was like $4 something. But like before that, I was making like $50 checks. But I kept with it. Like, what if I would have given up and then 2 years later making $4,000 a month? Like,
and that's why people, they're saying, you could have another job and probably still be making $4,000 a month, but not another job where I can still be with my kids. Not another job where I can take them everywhere with me, where we can just hang out on the couch and they play with toys, or we're at the park, and then I can still talk to customers on the phone real quick, help somebody place an order, get off the phone, and go back to pushing my kids on the swing.
Or to help like your family members. I know like both of my sisters are on my team. Like, I can't just hire family members on my job. Like, I would have to go to my boss and he'd look at me like I'm crazy. Like, that person doesn't have qualifications to work here. But I can literally hire anybody and give them these steps and send them on their way. Like, you just can't do that with your 9 to 5 or your job with corporate America.
My sister, my aunt, and my grandmother are all.
See? It's a family business.
Like, it's great when you come up in life, and if you make it to the top, it's great at the top. It's even better when you make it to the top with your like that's my best friend as well, who's also like another sister. Like, when I just got my promotion to double diamond, she was my diamond. So she just got a $10,000 bonus. And that's like one of my best friends in the entire world. So it's like, if you have the opportunity to not only advance yourself, but you can help your friends and your sisters and say, hey, I'm about to get a $10,000 bonus. How about we all get a $10,000 bonus? Let's do it all together. So that's just where we are right now. Life is in like a complete whirl spin of, emotions and excitement, and I'm loving it. This business has been such a blessing, and it's really just following 3 steps every month.
Yep, definitely so. So I'm going to go into, I think we've been on for 20 minutes. So I'm going to go into just the steps of how you, number one, start this business. If you're watching, you've never heard about It Works. Let me just give you a brief history. I probably should have done this in the beginning of the video, but It Works has been around for 16 years. So it's not a company that just, branched off like 2 years ago. We've been around for 16 years. We have a first to market product, our body wraps. So you've probably seen the body wraps posted on social media. They basically tighten, tone, and firm anywhere from the neck down in 45 minutes. And you can actually keep them on up to 8 hours, but all it takes is 45 minutes for that to happen. And so when we first started, we just had that one product. But over the course of the past 16 years, we have over 40 different products now in our product line. So we have essential oils. We have a full lifestyle line that includes supplements for weight loss, people with joint pain relief, for women that are going through menopause. I mean, you name it, we have it. We also have a skincare line, a full skincare line, from a cleanser, toner, moisturizer, stretch mark cream. We have hair vitamins. So we have a full array of products. So I always tell people, if you were to look at our product catalog, you could off the bat, like, just name 4 people in your immediate circle of friends or your family that needs one of those products. So that's how easy it is for us to share the products, because people need it. And basically what we do is we just get paid for sharing. Like, Ashley used the green. She already had her testimony with that. But most of the times it's just us. Like, I've tried every product in our product line. I use essential oils. I use hair, skin, nail vitamins. I use the skincare line every single day. See, clean my house, everything. There is my daughter has it in her diffuser, lavender, right now, in her room. And it's just, I just share it on social media. I run my business mostly on social media. So it's just as simple as me snapping a picture and posting it, just sharing my experience with the product. So that's a little bit about the company, how you get started with us. So right now, we actually have this amazing BOGO deal, which I'll get into in a second. But in order to start, it's a $99 startup fee. And you're going to get a business builder kit, our starter kit. It's going to have all your marketing materials, and you also will have a box of wraps. That box of wraps you can sell for $25. There's 4 wraps in the box. You can sell each one of them for $25. So you'll get your investment back. So you'll recoup your $100 investment. And I sold my wraps, when I got my kit in the mail, I sold them to my coworkers. I worked with all males, and I was literally like, your wife needs this, your girlfriend needs this. And they all bought my wraps for like $25, because I just wanted to get my investment back. So it's really simple, just to get rid of those wraps, or you can use them on yourself. And so what that is it's actually one of the ways that we get paid, which I'll get into in a second. It's wrap cash. So that's money that you just pocket, and you can do that over and over and over again. And one of the reasons why I mentioned BOGO, right now you can actually add BOGO onto your kit, and that's an additional 8 wraps, and you can sell those and get $200 more. So it's just like a cycle effect here. So I would really take advantage of that, and that ends tomorrow at midnight. But so you can get the kit for $99. You recoup your investment by selling the wraps. You can add BOGO, that's your choice. And that will give you an additional 8 wraps. So that's 12 wraps total that you can sell, $300 that you can make right there instantly, by sharing it with your family and friends. Like, you can even go to work and, tell your coworkers that you're starting at work and ask them to try a wrap, to be a product tester or whatever. So yeah, that's how you get started. How we get paid. So we get paid 3 different ways. So wrap cash, like I mentioned, is the first way. So I've been, shopping, I always tell the story. I was getting Riley stuff for her birthday party at Party City, and I had on an It Works shirt. I usually always wear my It Works stuff out. And a lot of times my daughter's really busy. My daughter's really busy. So I'm like focused, like trying to get out the store before she like acts a fool or whatever. So this lady was like circling around. Yes, seriously, toddler like tantrums. This lady was circling around the aisles, and she was like following me around the store. And then she kind of like creeped up on me like, hey, do you sell those wraps? And I ended up selling her like 2 wraps right there on the spot, got $50, and literally paid for all my daughter's like party decorations. It was totally unexpected. So I like saved all that money and just used it towards her party decoration. So it's like simple things like that. It can go towards your gas. It's paid Riley's daycare for the week. I mean, anything that you need, groceries, it's just money that's in your pocket. So the second way is commissions, and we get paid on the 15th of every month. So every order that's placed on your website, you're going to get a commissions check on the 15th of the month off of those orders. The third way are bonuses. So our first bonus, which is one of my favorites, is our fast start bonus. So every time you help a distributor or help a new business partner join your team, you help them be successful. So we're not getting paid just for recruiting people. Like, have 10 people join, and then you just get paid and you don't ever talk to them again. You literally have to go through the steps and show them how to be successful, help them be successful, help them get their first customers, help them get their feet wet in the business. And the company rewards you by giving you $100, and that's paid out weekly. And like I said, that has literally paid Riley's daycare too. I've gotten like $200 or $300 in a week, and that's just gone towards her daycare payment. So it's just simple things like that. And that's outside of your commissions check. So fast start bonuses are really great. They come kind of unexpected surprises for you helping someone else be successful. And then the third, our other bonus, right now we have the Go bonus. So Ashley and I actually got the $30,000 double diamond Go bonus, but you all are eligible if you were to sign up today for our diamond Go bonus. And has it changed to $5,000, Ashley?
Well,
or is it $10,000 for them?
It's 10 for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's a $10,000 diamond bonus. And like Ashley said, you can go diamond. If you really put your mind to it, you can go diamond in 2 to 3 months. Like, it's possible. People do it every day.
Go
ahead.
One of my business partners actually just charted for diamond a few weeks ago by accident.
Really?
Like, that's how it's like, if you're just consistently working your business. She hadn't even noticed that she had got herself set up for the diamond promotion. And then we were talking, and I was like, so why aren't you set up for diamond yet? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, you are. And we looked at her like she was. And she didn't notice it, because she was just, helping customers and helping people launch their business and hadn't really noticed it. So it's like, yes, if you put the time into it, you can do it in 6 months. You can do it faster sometimes without even noticing.
Yeah.
If
exactly.
You're just consistent.
Just by doing like the same action day in and day out. It's like small efforts, small steps, get to the bigger picture. So yeah, the bonuses, you're eligible for all of them. You can go diamond, go get the double diamond bonus, triple diamond. And it gives you a timeline of like the dates that you have to complete those goals. Of course, everybody's is different depending on when they sign up. So you're eligible for all of that. And then, so what we do is we basically follow 3 simple steps every single month. No matter if you're a new distributor starting out, you're a diamond, triple diamond, you're ambassador diamond, black diamond, everyone is doing these simple 3 steps. And I don't have one here, but we call it the steps of success. Basically, there are 3 different steps. The first step is you joining the party. So once you sign up, you've already completed the first step. The second step is you getting your 4 loyal customers. So every month, our goal is always to get 4 customers. And how it works, for each 2 loyal customers you sign up, you get a wrap reward. And that allows you to get a box of wraps for $25. And like I said, you can just go and sell those wraps, the 4 wraps that come in that box, for $25 each, and you're just accumulating wrap cash. So get your loyal customers every month. And then the third step is for you to show 3 other people how to join the business and how to be successful in the business. And honestly, those are the 3 steps that we follow every single month. It's super, super simple. I don't know too many places where they're like, okay, this is all you need to do. And, in a matter of 6 months or however long, you can literally get this bonus, or you could be making this much a month. But it just takes you coming in and, running with it. You have, like Ashley said, you have to be consistent. It's not like a get rich quick scheme. Like you literally have to put the work in. And that's where a lot of people have like kind of a disconnect there, because they think, oh, okay, I can just do this, sign up, and it could kind of be, and it could, if you run your business like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby. But if you come in running it like a business, you will get paid as if it's a business. So just keep that in mind, kind of. Ashley, did you have any other like tips or anything that you wanted to share before we end?
I guess the only thing I would like to say is, if you are thinking about it, whoever, we did want to say, of course, whoever invited you to this, whoever, shared this, and you've been talking to them about the business or watching them, contact them about launching your business. Just like we can help you, they can help you. So be sure to contact them. But also, I just want to say, and this may sound so harsh, but I'm just like, just go for it. Just go for it. Literally, just go ahead, jump in, see what happens, give it your all. And if you know you're giving it your all, like if you're really just trying as hard as you can to reach the top or reach whatever your goal is, your goal maybe you need another $300. You may just need $500. Or you may be like us and you want it, $2,000, $4,000, and now we're going for like $10,000 a month. Like if that's what your goal is, like she said, your goals change.
They definitely do.
You thought you wanted $500, then you were like, wait a minute, 10 sound real.
This money is actually real. Like you kind of have a doubt, like I don't really think I can make this, but
like this is paying real bills. So, but I just say go for it. Literally, contact that person. If you have any questions, ask them whatever question it is. Ask them questions till you can't think of questions anymore, because we want you to be certain. We don't want you to make a half-hearted decision, but we don't want you to not do it just because you're afraid, or because you're afraid of what other people will say, or you feel like, oh my goodness, it's another network marketing company, or it's an MLM, or whatever you want to call it, and people just don't really get successful. Look at us. We're being successful. If you don't,
Yep.
these are two people you know. And this is, real single and like single mothers who don't have time to play. We don't have time to deal with things that don't work.
Exactly.
Because we have children depending on us. So we had to be connected with something that would really help our families. And you're watching us share how our lives have changed. So I just really want as many people, men, women in general, not just women, I say that because we're talking about single mothers, but men and women, to just jump in and see how their lives could change with this business. So that's my
I
last.
definitely agree. Just go for it. Like that's what I want to end with. Is just go for it. Just don't think about it. Just do it. Figure it out once you start. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for getting on the call. I appreciate it. So you guys stay tuned. We'll do another one of these on Thursday. And I have Kenyatta Jennings and Candace Armour, who are diamond leaders in the company. So stay tuned. We'll be doing this again on Thursday. I might have said Wednesday. All right. Good night. Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.